Hello. So I'm recording this quick message just because it is easier to put a voice recording instead of trying to type this all in a text message. So this message is for all the parents who have children who attend Linton Middle School in Penn Hills, PA. So my child has recently come home with several different assignments that I believe that other parents should be aware of. Now let's keep in mind that the children have Chromebooks and all their work is done on the computer. These children do not bring home any textbooks and they don't bring home any books and they barely and rarely ever have homework. My children don't ever have homework, okay? And so all of their work is pretty much done at school. So we're not actually seeing what the children are doing unless we actually go onto their computers and have them pull it up and show us. So we really don't know for sure exactly what they're doing at school. Um, so she recently came home with a book. Well, she told me she didn't come home with a book because they're not allowed to bring these books home, but they are currently reading a book in school. They actually just finished it. It's called Lily and Duncan. And the book is written by a woman named Donna Gebhardt. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, it's Gephart. Okay, so like I said, they just finished the book, and the book is about a little boy named Timothy who is not happy with his gender, and he is going through the transition to become a girl. Okay, and he throughout the book, the father is not happy or supportive of it initially, but the doctors and everything persuade the father to support the son in this transition into becoming a little girl. And so he prefers to be called Lily in the book, but his birth name is Timothy. But there's one particular part in the book where, for me, it gets a little too much and a little graphic. I mean, the whole book is too much to me, but this is a little bit much for me. So the little boy is at the doctor, but mind you, his name is Lily. And I'm going to read it verbatim because I don't want to mess up anything or misquote anything. It says, Lily, do you mind if we talk about your hormone blockers? I get a tingle in my stomach. I think of how I had to pluck a few new mustache hairs this morning and how much it hurt. I think about how my voice crackled the other day when I was talking to Sarah. A reminder that it's going to get deeper soon. I think about how horrible I feel when things grow more down there. Okay, your mother told me that your father would rather you didn't go on them. Talking about the hormone blockers. How will you feel when you grow hair on your face and around your penis, when your voice deepens and your shoulders broaden? I can't believe she says the word penis just like that. I'm not okay with hair growing around my penis because I'm not okay with my penis. Not okay, I say quietly. Then I think about how I can't stand the thought of those things happening, and that if I don't do something to stop it, all of it will definitely happen and soon. Not okay at all. I say loud enough for dad to hear. I'm not okay with any of that happening to me. Tears well up and I look down at my lap. Lily, I don't look up even though I know it's rude, even though she's using the name that I asked her to use. Lily, why do you think your father doesn't want you to get the hormone blockers? A hot tear leaks out, but I wipe it away with the back of my hand and bite the inside of my cheek to keep more from escaping. He doesn't like he doesn't like who I am. I look up at the doctor, another tear streaking down my cheek. I mean, who I really am. So the doctor hands me a tissue, then stands, which surprises me. Lily, I think it would be a good idea now if you waited in the other room with your mother and I spoke to your father. I think he's the one I need to talk to right now. So that's just a little page from the book. Now, sitting in English class, this is an English class, what they call ELA, and they're reading this book, and it's talking about this transition, and it's getting to me what I consider graphic for a seventh grade, talking about hair growing on the penis and so on and so forth. Now, I believe personally that that's a bit much. The subject matter at hand, just transitioning and going from boys to girls and using hormone blockers is already enough. And then to get so graphic about hair on the penis in English class in seventh grade is way inappropriate. It's too much. And I believe it's too sexual in content. And I just don't believe that it's appropriate for English class, period. So then there was another assignment that came out that the children had to go and research people who are in the LGBT community. And then they had to specify why these people were in the community, like what they identified with. Like, were they gay? Were they lesbian? Were they trans? Were they bi? Whatever it was that, letter that they identified with. So I kindly sent an email to my child's teacher and let the teacher know that my child will not be completing this assignment because we we don't look up people based off of their sexual orientation. You're asking them to look up people based off of them being in the LGBT community and then specifying why they're in that community. So in my mind, that translates to if I have to write down why they're in that community, I'm writing down that this person, I chose this person because they're trans, because they have changed their penis to a vagina or vice versa. Or I'm writing down this person because they're gay and this person is a male who sleeps with other men. Why would we be looking at people based on of their sexual orientation? What does that have to do with English class? Why are we doing that? That is very inappropriate and out of order. Why wouldn't we be looking at people based off of things that they have done that are noteworthy, that to accomplish things like, their inventions, things that have helped advance society, things that have advanced technology, things that, have created, civil rights, whatever it may be, but not things that are based off of people's sexual preferences or sexual orientation. When did we start doing that? So I let the teacher know that my child will not be doing that. I'll be more than happy to allow my child to look up people based off of things that are noteworthy. For example, if we're looking up the man who created the light bulb, we're looking him up based off of his invention that has helped advance society, not based off of who he's sleeping with. Okay. So and then of course this book. So I did speak with with staff at the school, and of course the teachers have said that they are not the ones who pick or choose the curriculum. So they have to you know pick the reading materials based off of a list that is already chosen by people that are higher up. So I spoke to someone that was higher than the teacher. The person that I spoke to, did admit that this is the third year that this book has been taught, and that there was also another parent that called and complained, and they also this authority also let me know that because of the phone call and the conversation that we were having, because my thing was we should have at least transparency. Like, there's emails that come out every day. If there is, if they put the dogs through the school, they send out an email saying, because of our transparency policy, we have to let you know that the dogs were in the school. If there's a fight or contraband or a weapon or something found on school premises, something inappropriate, they send out an email and say, because of our transparency, we have to let you know that so and so happened today. But my thing was, if you guys have such this transparency policy, why didn't you guys send out an email to let me know that my child was going to be learning about penises and hair and transgenderism and hormone blockers? Because to me that's a sensitive topic that as a parent I should have had a say so in, so I can teach my child at home what I feel like my child needs to know about identity before it's taught in school. I know back in the day, I don't know what they're doing now exactly in some schools in other states. I do know that when they have sensitive topics like this in regard to like health and sex ed, they still have to get permission from the parents to be able to teach these things. So in my mind, this should be one of those things where there needs to be permission from the parents, okay? Not something that's done secretly and quietly in the classrooms and they can't even bring these books home, okay? So the teacher, the staff did agree that for now on, they would send home a list of the books that the students are going to be reading in English class. They would send these home in advance. They're going to send them home through an email. Now, for me, I know that I have multiple children, school age children, so I don't read all the emails. So I appreciate the fact that they're willing to do to change and do something in regard to transparency and letting the parents know in advance. However, I know that as parents, we don't always read all of the emails. So I know that it's going to slip through the cracks and a lot of parents still are not going to know. So for me, that's not exactly enough. They also did say that what they would do was put the books out at the beginning of the school year and the open house so that the parents would know what is coming. Now, I believe that that's good. That's better than nothing, okay? I wish that they would fully just take this whole curriculum and this whole agenda of identity out of the school period, but we know that they're not going to do that. But the very least they could do is allow us as parents to know in advance what they're going to do. And I believe that they should provide an alternative. So when they let us know what these books are, there should be alternative books. So that way we know that there are other options, that we don't have to agree to letting our child participate or read these books, that there are other options and assignments that they can also do. And I also believe that this particular curriculum, because they're saying that what they're trying, the objective and the goal out of this book is identity. That is what they're trying to teach, identity. I believe that that this objective or core study that they're trying to get across of identity is dealing with sexual orientation. It's very so therefore it shouldn't even be taught in English. It should be taught in health. Okay, I believe this should be part of health, and I believe that it, now mind you, again, I don't want it in the school period, but I know they're going to do it. So at the very least they can do is put it in health class, and then allow, and there should have to be permission slips sent out so that way the parents can pick or choose whether they want this teaching going through their child's ears. Okay, so that's what I believe should happen. And I believe that the parents are not aware of what's being taught and what is going on in the schools because, again, the kids cannot bring these books home. The work is done on the computers. There's no worksheets. There's no textbooks. There's none of this. So the parents do not know. And I believe if more parents knew what their children were being taught, that more parents would stand up and say something. I believe that if the parents stood up, they would have to even remove this book. They probably won't remove the agenda, but the book at least would be removed, okay? But we need more parents to be aware and we need more parents to know what is going on and what is being taught. So I'm sending out this video and I'm asking you, I'm begging you to please send this video to anybody that you know who has school age children, especially at Linton. And I would like, and even if you have children that are at the elementary school that are about to come to Linton, I would appreciate that you would step up and just send something. Send me an email with your written concern, just saying that you're not in agreement with it and you believe that there should be transparency, that this thing should be taken out of English, it should be, taught in health class, and that we should, as parents, should have rights to know, and that we should have to be given written permission in order for these things to be taught to our children. We need this done, and we need to step up and be voices for our children to protect them and what they're being taught and this indoctrination that they're trying to do. We know that this agenda is way bigger than us, okay? So this is going to go forth. I get that. But we should have a say so in our children's education of what they're being taught. And it definitely should not be done secretly. So I would just appreciate that if you guys could just send me just emails, just with written statements of what your beliefs are and what you would, because when I go before them, at the school board meetings and when I go before them in these meetings that I'm setting up, I would like to know that there's other parents that have the same beliefs and that I'm not the only voice that's willing to, fight or stand up and say something about this because it's just very, 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 very grieving to me that the parents have no clue what their children are being taught. And as a parent, I want to be able to sit down with my child before the school gets to them and say, baby, no. To my son and say, no, baby, you can't be a little girl. You can't do that. You can't take hormone blockers because you were born a boy. And if you put those hormone blockers in your body is going to naturally fight against it because it's not the way that your body is set up to be. And people who are doing that are regretting it. People who are doing that are bound to pills for the rest of their life, and their body is just naturally fighting against it because it's not the natural order of the way your body was created. I want to be able to have that conversation and let my child know the truth of what they would be facing if that is a decision that they were even considering making. I want it to be coming from a book that's glorifying it, making it seem like you can just easily transition from a boy to a girl. That's not natural order, and it's not the way that it was intended. And these children need to know the truth. So, and if we're talking about identity, you want to encourage your child to be who they are. So anyway, yes, please send out any emails that you can to be able to support this movement and be aware and check what your children are learning. I'm talking about there's been other assignments, books that they've read about how they murder people, they stone people to death through a lottery system. That was the last book that my child read. Murder, violence, it's bad. And if you want more information on what I've seen of what's going on, feel free to email me or contact me and we can definitely talk about this. All right. Have a beautiful, blessed day, parents.